So there's it. Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here coming to you live from Mesa in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling tune-up Tuesday. How was your tune-up Tuesday? Did you make any tweaks or changes to things? Did you look up calendar blocking, try some calendar blocking? I like to do it with colors. Some people like one color. More power to you. But I will tell you this. Ever since I started the practice of calendar blocking, I find my time is more productive than not. I have office hours from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and I have stuff I do before that 10 o'clock things and a couple of things I do after the 5 o'clock. And basically, it is, I have my personal time before the office hours open. I do my email, I do my social media, and then at the end of the day, again, email, social media, and then me time. So I bookend the days with me time, email, social media. I actually have training in there as well. And then start the office hours. And then at the end of the day, it is email, social media. I've already done the email for the day, so that's off the list. A little extra time today. Had a call that was supposed to take place that didn't, so I got some extra stuff done by like doing stuff early. Then I got a little social media to do, and then and then it's on to me time, which is walking Zephyr, relaxing for the day, and all that sort of thing. But somebody said, "Well, what happens if you?" I got a private message. What happens if you have an emergency come up? Then you make adjustments where needed. And they said, "What do you do with phone calls?" I said, "Basically, they go to voicemail." Unless it's a scheduled call, I typically don't answer my phone. If it's a client calling and it happens to be during the time that I'm working on a project for them, then sorry, I got an itch coming. And I've got a and I happen to be working on something or I'm waiting for them to call me back. Those are about the only times that I will answer the phone. Otherwise, it typically goes through to voicemail. And I then call back because I have time slotted in to check voicemail and call back if necessary. Um, but yeah, I enjoy calendar block. I am somebody who is very easily distracted by stuff going on around. So this helps me focus. I got to focus in 50-minute chunks, and even if I've gotten the schedule there for 2 hours to work on one project, I can actually go through and work on that 2 hours on that one project. But typically, I try and do 50-minute chunks. I have a 10-minute break in between. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes I work through the 10-minute break. In fact, I quite often work through the 10-minute break. So I'm taking a break every 2 hours instead of once an hour. But it works for me. It works that way, and especially if it's because typically I allow a 2 hour window based on the project. It's typically a 2 hour window that I allow each day to work on a project, and that could be a to do list within that project. So I've got like a 2 hour block there, but in that block, I'm going to do these things here, do these smaller tasks in that 1 2 hour block, which is typically what I try to go for. Not, yeah, that's basically what I do. Um, and excuse me, excuse me. And I find I am so much more productive than just looking at my to-do list going, okay, what do I need to do? Oh, I'll go work on this, I'll go work on that. No, if I have a block of time and that block of time is dedicated to this particular project, then this is what I'm working on during that time. If this block of time is dedicated to making phone calls, then I'm on the phone, make the phone call, leave the message, deal with the call, very quick calls. So I allocate time to do certain projects and things, and it helps me get through the day in a more productive way, and it keeps my interest going, so I'm not scatterbrained and all over the place. Although, being human, there are days where I might have the times blocked, and I'm sort of like, yeah, no, not doing that. Or I will change it around. I'll take the morning one and move it to the afternoon because I don't feel like doing it in the morning. And I might bring the afternoon one to the morning because I feel like doing it right there and then. So yes, there are times that I will change it on the spot. My week is usually planned out on late Saturday, early Sunday morning for the week. But I know me, and I know there's days I'll get there and I really don't feel like doing that at this time. I'm definitely going to do it this afternoon. I'm just not going to do it now. And so then I'll flip the day around. But it's flexible. You're able to do that. There's also what else was I going to say? So yeah, today was really good. I had an awesome conversation earlier this morning with a friend. Got to catch up with a friend. We had a great conversation this morning. Always good to catch up with people you haven't spoken to for a while. Or you might see them every day in a meeting or something, but just having that chance just to sit there and just talk. I love those moments. And like I said, I got my projects done today. I got my to-do list. I had a call scheduled this afternoon that got changed at the last minute. So I suddenly had an hour free. And I was like, what am I going to do? Excuse me. Hey, excuse me. We're using our inside voices, please. She's getting a little nuts because I've got my dinner here on the table in front of me. And she's not getting any of it. So, this afternoon, my day changed, and so I got got my emails done early, so I don't have to do them when I get off the call. I'm kind of already caught up on my social media, so I don't have to do that when I get off the call. I'll just finish my dinner and take a certain DOG for a WALK. Not sure what she's trying to sit on my feet. Really? I know you're turning around. Okay. And then this weekend we have the amazing networking riches taking place this weekend. And I saw something where Casey's going to be talking about a new app. Oh, it was in an email he sent out. We're talking about a new app called Clubhouse. If you haven't seen Clubhouse yet, it is awesome. It's just voice chat. It's not on video. It's just voice chat. And this past weekend, on Saturday when I was at the Mailbox Power launch, there was about 3 or 4 of us. We were in a Clubhouse together, and we were all on mute. But, it was like sitting in a conference where you're sitting with your mates and stuff, and somebody says something and you suddenly think of something, and you quickly lean over and whisper it in their ear type thing. And that's how we were using the Clubhouse. Really? You want to play? You should see the look on her face. I guess she's not going to wait for me to throw it. And so we were using the Clubhouse the same way. If somebody said something, we go, hey, that's really good. What if you did da 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 da? And it was just like little quick snap conversations like you do when you're in a conference, like you do when you're at a seminar or a conference or that, when you always whisper something to the person next to you and make some comment. That's how we were using Clubhouse. But I've also sat in on some other Clubhouses too, where you've had you had a whole bunch of like, what was I listening to the other day? It was millionaire business owners, and they were doing these, and they had a number of people who were on the stage, because you can either listen or you can be on the stage where you can participate and talk. And they would get asked, you have to ask somebody a specific question. They had 30 seconds to answer it, and then they nominated the next person in the speaker area and then they would ask them a question that they would have to answer in 30 seconds. It was very enlightening and very interesting, and picked up a couple of little tidbits along the way. And some of them, they got to the end of 30 seconds, and I'm like, I didn't understand a word they said. Like, I heard the words, I did not understand their answer or the message they were trying to convey in 30 seconds. And some of them were like, well, that's really good information. But there's a lot of high-level people in there. I've seen a few come through with Greg Cardone on there. Who else? Grant Cardone. Where's my phone's over there. Grant Cardone, yeah. And so there's been these high-level people that you usually get to see on stage speaking, and you get to hear them this way. So it's something you can walk along and you can listen to what's going on in the room, or you can raise your hand to participate in the conversation. So it's kind of cool. And Casey's going to be, in the email that I got today, he's going to be talking about it this weekend on networking riches and how to network using the Clubhouse. So I'm sort of like, yes, I get to learn a new skill. So if you want to come along and get the scoop on all of that, please go to the link that's in the description, havetonetwork.com. And you can come as my guest. Just sign up for a complimentary ticket and you'll get to come as my guest, which will be awesome. It is going to be a phenomenal 2 days. So I don't know what else new he's going to be putting in there, but it's going to be exciting. And so, yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. It's just been a very productive, quiet day. And I'm now going to go finish my dinner and then take a DOG for WARK. So have a super fantastic, sparkling rest of your Tune-Up Tuesday. And, I had another thing go into I forgot to tell you, my fun tin. I used up all my pieces of paper, so now I've made some more. And one that I put in today, I happen to be looking for something on Amazon's just a great search engine for me. I go in there and have a look at things, and I add stuff to lists. Like something will strike me, and I'm sort of like, oh, yeah, when I come to work on that project, that would be, something like that would be really good to have. So I'll go research it. There's a few genealogy books I want to get. but I have to I've got a goal set out in order to reach that goal in order to go and order those books. So I have my genealogy book list going, along with my resources there in the Amazon thing. So you can have the different lists going for different things. And like there's stuff I want to get for the RV. So I have my camping list, and that's my wish list for all the camping stuff. So I've got multiple lists on different topics, and that's where my wish list goes. And every now and again I'll go through it and have a look, and every now and again I'll just go on Amazon and have a, because I get this inkling of, oh, wouldn't that be good to have? Oh, I wonder if they have anything about that, or a book about that, or something. And so I'll go research, and I happen to come across bubbles. You know, the ones where you get the wands out and you blow the bubbles, and I'm like, oh, I do not have that in my fun tin. Oh, how can I not have that in my fun tin? It's one of my favorite things to do, is to sit outside and blow bubbles. And I especially love it when kids are around, because the looks on their faces and the delight that they have when you blow bubbles for them, and they chase them, they try to catch them, and especially if it's a sunny day, you've got the sun sparkling off the edge of the bubble, and it's giving that rainbow effect and everything else, and it's just so cool. And Gus used to try and get them in his mouth, which is hilarious to watch. You know, 114-pound dog running around trying to catch bubbles in his mouth. It was hilarious. I haven't tried Zeffie with bubbles yet. I don't know what she would do. So I've got to get me some bubbles so I can try that out at some point. So that's gone into my list. So I have my fun list going on Amazon, so I can remember some of the stuff I have in my tin. And so I've started my fun list on Amazon, and so the bubbles went in there today, and that little electronic keyboard. If you saw that, one of my things is to learn. I have an electronic keyboard that Brad bought me because I've always been interested in learning the piano and the keyboard. And my mum would not let me take music lessons when I was growing up because of all the music lessons she had to go through as a kid. So she wouldn't let me. I mean, she showed me where middle C was on the piano. She showed me where it was on the music score, and then she showed me how to read up from that. So this hand pretty much okay, but I'm still one of those people that go, okay, what's the next? So I can do one or two fingers pretty well, but having to do a hand with a chord or something, and then as far as this hand goes, yeah, we've got to work on that one, because it's reading the bass notes that I have challenges with. But so it's something I've always wanted to learn. So Brad actually one time bought me an electronic keyboard so I could go learn, but I never had a chance to take lessons at the time. But then I was looking around for some fun stuff and came across a small, I think it's just 1 octave keyboard. Like, think of, if you've seen the movie Big, where Tom Hanks with Robert, oh, damn it, I can't think of his name. Robert. Anyway, Tom Hanks and Robert, whose last name I can't remember, who plays the boss, the owner of the toy company that Tom Hanks, as a 13-year-old in a 30-year-old man's body, works at. They come across this big 16-foot long keyboard, electronic keyboard, and they do this little dance routine playing a tune on it. And Penny Marshall was the director of the movie at the time, and I found out too that there's something about Penny Marshall. She was the first woman to direct a movie that went over a certain dollar in sales in box office, and that was that movie Big. I can't remember the things of that because I like the scene with the keyboard. But this little one was just a little short one, about 6 feet long. Must be the one we're talking about. And it's only 1 octave. And I thought, well, wouldn't that be cool to learn to play the keyboard on that? Because I could figure it out with my feet. Sure, and it's movement. It's not just sitting there moving the hands. You're actually moving your feet and you're dancing around to the thing. And it just brought back memories of that scene from the movie. And when they came to film that scene, they happened to be walking through the toy store, and they saw the little 6-foot one. And it was only 1 octave. But Penny wanted a bigger one, so she contacted the manufacturers of that small one and asked them to make one big enough for 2 men to be able to dance on and play music on. So the company said sure, and they made this one that was 16 feet long, had 3 octaves on it, so that they were able to dance. And on the day that they were in the toy store to film it, Robert and Tom noticed that there were Robert or Roger? Oh God, now I'm second guessing myself. Anyway. They were there, and they looked over, and there were these 2 doubles that were dressed up exactly as they were, ready to take over if they couldn't do the dance moves on the keyboard that they needed to create this tune. And so they looked at each other and decided, they said to God, that we're not going to use doubles. We're going to do it all ourselves. And they did. So that was a really cool story on that. So yes, I saw that. So I thought, oh, okay, so that went into my little wish list. So I'm having fun every now and again, just on a 5-minute break, just going into Amazon and quickly searching up different fun things that are on my list and finding other cool stuff, like bubbles today. Um, although I have to, this was hilarious. It was, this just, this just cracked me up. Just thinking about it cracks me up. So I typed in bubbles, right? Because when I saw the bubble thing come up, I thought, oh, wonder what other bubbles they got. So I typed in bubbles into the search thing because I never just click on the item there. I go and actually search for that item and see what else comes up. So I typed in bubbles, and there's all this bubble stuff, creating bubbles and all that, da 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 da. Then there is a book called Bubbles. But what cracked me up about the book called Bubbles is that there's this guy on the cover in a leather vest, big bulging arm muscles coming out of the sides there. And he's wearing this leather vest, and it's called Bubbles, and it was something to do with some motorcycle club, and some book about some motorcycle club guy, and I'm like, sure, and I'm like, okay, motorcycle clubs and bubbles. It just struck me as so funny, so I had to go and have a look, and it's one of those. It was one of those romance books, and the guy's gang name was actually Bubbles, and I'm like, huh, how does a big tough dude end up with a name like Bubbles? And you'd have to read the book to find out, I guess. But I'm sort of like, yeah, I'm not going to read that one. So wasn't interested in reading the book. It just struck me as funny that this and in the description of the thing, this guy's gang member name was Bubbles, and I was sort of like, okay, a motorcycle gang member whose name is Bubbles, and he's this big muscular dude, and I'm sort of like, yeah, that really fits. No. So there's probably some. Hello. Are you wanting some of my egg salad here, huh? Oh, you got kisses. Aw, thank you. You're so sweet. So it was just the whole name, looking at the cover and looking at this guy with his muscles and everything else, thinking, okay, we have a name body mismatch here. So, yeah, I was just, what I did was type in Bubbles and it came. But whatever. I don't know. But it wasn't part of a series too, but because I remember there being a number after. I can't remember what the number was, but I was sort of like, yeah, there's just a whole image mismatch thing here. So anyway, so that was my absolutely hilarious moment. I cracked up laughing at that one, and poor Zeffie wakes up and she's like looking around like, what the heck's going on here? So I had to explain it to Zeffie what I was looking at, and then I read her the description of the book. And what does she do? That goes back to sleep. That was perfectly timed, little one. Yes, it was. So now I'm going to go finish my egg salad, which she is. Somebody wants to go for WALK, huh? Can I finish my dinner first? Okay, we're going to go finish our dinner, and then we're going to go. You can have your dinner. Go have your dinner. You want to have your dinner now? I put it out for you. We're going to finish our dinner and then go for WALK. Have a super fantastic, sparkling rest of your Tune Up Tuesday evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Hei konera.